everybody. This is Andy Collins with Tridea Partners. We're going to go ahead and get started. Should be about 30 minutes of presentation followed by Q&A at the end. If you have questions throughout this webinar, if you would put them into the question section there on the toolbar on the right, and then we'll address those at the end. And obviously those here in the office, we'll probably wait for questions till the end as well. So without further pause, I want to introduce Miguel Lozano. He is the developer and owner of TitaniumGP and F-Trex. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Miguel.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And we're going to be showing a really cool product for GP. And it's extremely simple to install. And the first step that we're going to go and review is the ability to transfer information between GP and Excel. So,
sorry, Miguel, one quick thing too. So if anybody on the call cannot see the screen, if you don't mind giving us a message there on the toolbar as well. You can see everything okay, Victoria? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So we should be good.
All right. All right. So the first one that I'm going to show is the ability to enter a journal entry. And journal entries are simple. Actually, GP already has that capability to enter the information of a journal entry. The difference here is that we have the capability of enter not just one but multiple journal entries if I wanted to. So TitaniumGP will read the information that you're trying to paste, and it will identify if it is one journal entry or multiple journal entries, and it really doesn't matter in which order you place the columns, because we'll grab the header information included and it will locate the actual field where it needs to go. So just a quick sample, I'm going to paste it and then we're going to go back and review what it is. So in this case, I'm going to copy this range, and you know that it is included because this dotted line moving. I'm going to go back into the transaction entry window in GP, and I'm going to say paste, and it will tell me all the journal entries that it created for me. Sorry, I'm working on a laptop, not on a server. So here it created 6 journal entries. So the second one, for example, let's go and take a look. I'm going to paste it. You will notice that it is exactly the information that I have right here. So I have my reference right here, my dates. I have all the lines for the journal entry, and I also have a note field. These notes that I wrote them right in the notes of the journal entry. When you paste, you are actually, or TitaniumGP works with the clipboard and only copies the value of the cell, not the formula. So then it identifies that it is, if it is identified in this case by the color, just so you will be able to see it. It changes the dashes to zeros, removes the commas, any currency value like $sign or pounds, and it just transfers in this case the 0 or the 64 or 15. In addition to that, and what I have seen is a lot of customers have these very nice, well-formatted spreadsheets that have empty lines and empty columns in order for them to look good. So let's go back into one of the single journal entries, and I have here this journal entry, and this is just the line. But if I grab this column and move it to over here, and I put empty lines like you will see here, they will automatically be ignored, because it's possible that your spreadsheet, the one that you use to enter the information, it's probably a document that you would like to save. So let's go and put it in here, and I'm going to go and paste. And I have my lines, including the debits and the credits, and they were the empty lines were organized and they were moved into the proper location. So no need to have very strict template in order for you to enter the information into GP. Now, there's one additional component into that. You can have smaller text. It doesn't have to be a strict debit or credit. There's a list of the possible values, and you can also, for those who are technical, you can put the actual field name of the database or that table, and it will identify that that's the column that you're trying to paste. All right, let's go take a look at another sample. Here, I have the opportunity to enter
this one right here, the red one.
Oh, red one.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That way won't.
Nice, thank you.
Yep.
Let's put it there. So here, in this case, this is a little bit different because I have my payable transaction. If I enter that and I'm able to paste one payable, if I select this range, I should be able to paste two payables. But distribution that I would like to be associated with this payable transaction. So if I enter this information here, it will paste. And let's go and take a look. Actually, let's go and take a look here without entering any credits. So I'm going to go back into GP. I'm going to transactions, and I'm going to paste that. So it's telling me that it did paste the 404,474. So take a look. And let's go and put the Excel file so we can compare the distributions. I have my freight amount of $15, my purchases amount of $15, and I also have the distribution. Let's go take a look. 6 means, according to this window, let's go move it. It's flickering a little bit because of the GoToMeeting, I think. But so the distribution here, you will see that 6 means purchasing. So it automatically put it in, and I did not include the payables. But the TitaniumGP worked with the generation of distribution of Great Plains, generated the payables, removed the ones that it didn't need, and if I included it here, and automatically put it there for me. Right? So even if those fields are not in the front window, they were populated because of the Connect object, which is the methodology that Microsoft feels comfortable that you paste information into GP. So fully working with eConnect for those who are technical.
Yeah. This is paused. You're connected to hardware, right?
Yes, right. Oh, yeah. And it says no connection.
No internet?
It's coming. It's back there. Right? We had a hiccup.
Oh, there it is. It's back.
And it went.
You good now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that on the phone. On the webinar, we lost connection for a minute.
All right. So this gives you the ability to paste payables. So I have a customer that uses 900 payables a week. How long it takes? About 7 to 9 minutes, but they have really powerful servers. I've seen that normally a journal entry of 900 lines probably takes about 4 minutes. So it all depends on your infrastructure. It all depends on how many people on the system. This week I got a call from a customer that they were going to paste 50,000 lines on a receiving transaction from inventory, and that required, and there's the ability to say if there's that one time, let's go and increase whatever technology term means timeout. They increased the timeout, and they were able to paste all those, there were actually 54,000 lines, and then they're good to go, and then they reduce it. So there's the capability of you doing a lot of transactions. The good thing is that you know that the system is capable of doing it. You just need to be patient and let the system work. But it has the capability of handling that much of information. Okay, so I'm going to say that. So we have seen all the transactions, and that's pretty cool. But I heard of a customer, and they called me. They were actually very close here to Tridea, and they converted from QuickBooks to GP, and that was pretty cool. They all the accounts from all the companies that they bought, and they suddenly they're on GP. But the descriptions of the GL accounts were uploaded as they were, and because they were 5 companies that we put together, the descriptions were kind of messy, and especially when they were printing financials. So TitaniumGP also gives you the ability to not just enter transactions, but also update and modify master data. Let's see, let's take a look. So let's go to chart of accounts, and here I have, and this is going to be a really cool, promise. So this is a range that will help me enter accounts. So I'm going to press Control-C to get that dotted line. I'm going to go back into GP. I'm going to open my financial, cards financial account maintenance, and just going to go and paste it. It's going to tell me that that field already exists. Sorry for that. This one, I put it twice, and I shouldn't have done that. My delete keys. So I'm going to select that, copy, go back into my window, not that one, and paste. So here's telling me there, I'm going to update the account. Are you okay with that? So it's a little warning. I say yes. So it updated up to 8 accounts. So let's go and take a look at the first one. Actually, if you don't, let's look at the first one, and then let's look at the one that has user-defined fields. So this one, I told it to put it in as inactive. So it went and changed that inactive account. And then the next account, which is 08, you will see that I enter user-defined fields right here. And these user-defined fields are right here. So if I go in and update that again, but in this case, I'm going to put here Tridea. And I don't mind, I'm just going to do the whole range again. You notice how I have an empty column here and here. So I'm going to press copy. Paste again. Warning. Updated 8 accounts. Go back and check that second account. And I should see the Tridea. And the rest of the information did not update even though it was there because it's just the information that I wanted. So let's say for a moment that you are deciding to hold the close for 2 more days and you don't want people to enter in journal entries to a particular account or series of accounts. What you will do is very simple. You will grab just that range, account and the column inactive. And you're going to say, I don't want these columns to be active for now. So you just grab that range, and it could be as big as you want to. And then you just paste that. You get a warning. 3 accounts updated. Let's go take a look. I'm going to look at the third account. And my account has been inactivated. At that moment, nobody can enter journal entries into that account. So if I want to put 100 customers on hold, I just put customer number, the hold, and I will say put the customer on hold, and I update it. I am able to go and enter, fix my prices by, of course, using a TitaniumGP copy paste, and I update my price list, and then I remove the hold from my account, and I'm able to enter information for those customers again. All right, so probably the one that requires more, or the ones that is used as the master data is the item maintenance. I see this to be very popular, especially because, well, when we create the item master, nobody enters the shipping weight, and then there's an initiative to do that, and then we're able to go and update all that information. And to be honest, we all play with a lot of Excel files around our company all the time. So instead of typing, we just paste. So before I do that, I want to show you how to create this template because it looks like cool, but how do I know that shipping weight is exactly the field that I want? So when you do copy, you have that dotted line. I'm going to press escape, so there's no dotted line. That means that there's nothing on the clipboard. So let's go take a look. Let's go to the items. And this works for all the about 45 different windows where you can do copy paste. So you paste. You're going to get this message instead of pasting, saying there's nothing on the clipboard, but do you want TitaniumGP to put a template on the clipboard? So you say yes, and you have a multi-document in case it was, or extended, so it was the real big one. And let's go back into Excel. I'm going to create a new file, Excel file. I'm going to press paste. And there you go. I have my template with some instructions on how to put it in. And I'm able to, I know that this is a string with 10 characters. And I'm able to know here, for example, I can put a 1, 2, or 3 for the types, etc. So very simple. As I mentioned it before, remember, you only need to paste the information that you would like, including the required field. So how do you know it's a required field? Because it is bold and probably has an asterisk. But if it is bold, that's a required field. So if you just want to change the description for items that already exist, just copy this one. And I think that on the customer that you were mentioning, they did a lot of that upload for this new GP implementation using TitaniumGP and
yeah, no, they were talking about that this morning.
oh, this morning? Okay, yeah, nice.
So you said about 43 windows you have the ability to create this template for?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so that could be accurate.
Pretty much any windows.
Employees I saw.
Right. Pretty much all the windows that you have that we have an eConnect node.
Okay.
And we'll figure out a way, Victoria, to provide that information to the persons on the phone. But we have here a note, if you mind taking one, and on the back page it indicates all the windows that it does copy paste and some of the features. So you're welcome, and I have some more in there. All right. So we did a little of the copy paste. So one person one day called me and indicated that when they did a shipment to Japan, they had the portion of being all the inventory hold at the customs office in Japan, because the officer said, how do I know that the packing slip that you're giving me matches the products that are on the boxes when the description is in English, right? So we talk a little bit about it, and GP does not allow you to enter Unicode characters, so you cannot enter Japanese. So TitaniumGP came to the rescue. Sorry, I always wanted to say that. You have the capabilities of adding additional fields to the GP windows, also about 40 different windows where you can do the elastic. And you can attach descriptions in almost any language. I don't have here Japanese, I think. But for example, here you have the pictures. So what we did is, and that was a mock-up, packing slip that included the English description, the Japanese description, and the picture of the product. And this is attached in a table that sits in the company database. So if you do a backup, you always contain that information saved. And these fields are almost a drag and drop from your SQL reporting services if you use that tool. And you can create those reports and include the English, the Japanese descriptions, plus the image of the product that you're sending. Now, this is called Elastic Windows. Elastic Windows, it gives you the capability of adding additional fields that are attached, in this case, to the item number. Very simple to report, very simple to add to your smart list. You will need a little bit of Tridea's help to add those fields because of Smart List Builder, but it is very simple to add. In addition to that, you can create SQL views that will identify if certain criteria is matched. So you can define, for example, if this, when you enter an item and then you say customer service items have been loaded into the system, they try to sell it and they can't because they forgot the price. So with this controls, you can say you're entering the item and it will put a red mark indicating you have failed the validation of, in this case, is on the list price, I want this item in for list price, in the wholesale price, wholesale Europe, retail, and it's adding also make sure that they have the base unit of measure and other validations. In this case, there's some demand overview to identify how many do we have available, how much we have sold. So it's just a simple SQL view that you can add and provide additional information to your GP windows. And how do you design these tabs? I'm just going to show you that. I'm going to go to Control Desk, and I think in Commands I have here the Elastic Designer. So here you're able to go, and this is your tool to create your windows. So if I click on Item Maintenance, for example, I click on that one, I have my window, and I'm able to move the fields on a certain location or add, for example, 3-view, or and I'm able to go and rearrange it, etc. I'm not going to save it, but that's how you create your elastic windows. They can be 3 different sizes and wider depending on what you're adding in there. All right. So
where is all that data getting stored?
The elastic data?
Yes.
And every tab that you see is either a SQL table or a SQL view. So if you have that information in it, that means that it will be saved in your company database.
Okay.
All the time.
But are you making new databases, or are they standard GP?
So let me show you. Good question. So this is your Fabricam database, right? And if you go into tables, this ADV for the company name, this second section is the window name. So let's go and take a look. I'm going to press here, customer maintenance. And I'm going to turn on the elastic so you will see the fields. So in this additional, if I open the columns, the first column is not shown because it's the one that is used to match to this customer. The second one is a decision maker. In this case, is a label. Here you have contact name for 25 characters. Then you have a note, which is a text field. So automatically, TitaniumGP reads the structure of your table and dynamically generates how it's going to look. If you don't define and you don't move the fields, it will automatically render that for you so you can make the data entry. In this case, for example, franchise is a bit data type, so it puts it as a checkbox. And this one, location, is an image file, so it puts it as a box where you can see the image. You have the capability of changing the size of the image, so you will make it a little bigger in order to make it more comfortable, or for example, turning on the scanner button if you want to be able to scan directly into those GP windows. So that's what I was referring, that when you do a backup of this database, all the contents of your elastic windows are stored in the same backup, which is always a good idea. All right. I have here the item maintenance, and I want to show you that, especially for those GP admins that are around, or at least the users, so you know that there's a functionality. We have times where a lot of companies use the field called short description to enter the UPC. And the biggest problem of the UPC is that you can put it to the same item twice. Then it creates a really big problem for the warehouse, because when you're printing or you're scanning. So I added here a functionality to this window to help me validate that this field was not used in any other item. So by adding that very small SQL script, TitaniumGP used the protocol TGP validate, and this message that you're seeing here comes from the script that I wrote. The script indicated to TitaniumGP that it failed, and it triggered this window to indicate to the user this UPC number that you're putting in here. It's already assigned to this other item. You can, if you try to save it, you will not be able to, unless you enter a password that is previously defined by the GP admin that installed this script, and you're able to save it. Otherwise, you won't be able to save it. So you need to go and take it. In this case, I save it on the database on the back end, so I can show you those validations. So one customer told me once, I am so up to here when when I like eyes for the United States sales or the Canada sales, and they give me a list of 5 or 10 different countries, because Canada, sometimes it's CAN, and I have to go and grab Excel and put them all together. So you can add one of those fields in order to validate that the countries are in whatever list you provided or table. Another customer is using it because they have about 200 different sales reps, and they want to make sure that they did not forget to close one sales rep or put it as inactive when it was still assigned to any of the customers. So on the sales rep window, it goes and checks if this sales rep is already assigned to any other customers, give them an error message indicating these are the customers that you need to remove the sales rep before you make this sales rep inactive. So you're adding those controls that just takes a lot of time for the GP admin or for the people that are doing the commissions, for example, to instead of validating, you are controlling the data entry of GP into the system. So I have shown those 3 features: copy paste. I have shown elastic. I have shown a little bit of the TGP validate. And for that, I would like to see if there's any questions that you may have or any windows that you would like to see how it behaves, the copy paste or the elastic window operation. Any questions so far?
The only one I had was, does it work with fixed assets?
So yes, you can. There's only 2 windows that work there. One is general, so your fixed assets, and your books. Probably not, for the data upload, it's a great tool. I've seen a lot of customers doing that for the first.
Always smart with Integration Manager. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you might have already came in a little late, but what is the cost for this?
You will need to call Tridea for that. Because it depends on the number of users.
Okay.
There's 2 levels, one up to 8 users and up to 15 users, plus depending on your installation. So you will have to call.
Okay.
So that, I'll give you the number.
Yeah. I'll track it down.
So could you just have like a few users that have access to this, and then the rest would use the regular GP? Or does it have to be on everybody?
Great question, because I got a call from a customer said, you know what, I don't want people copy pasting. So,
yeah.
So what he did is he removes the DLL from the client, but you still can define for this user, I want this functionality. So you have the capability of either removing it altogether and then or defining what features do you want enabled. Because when you buy the product, it comes with a elastic copy validate, and you're able to go into the control desk and start turning them on and off. Okay. Yes?
So, let's say we upload something and we change it, the number has changed. Can we just go directly to the journal change it, or do we have to go back to Excel?
No, you can go directly. So you're only using it for the first load, and you can go directly into the GP window. Just if you use the Excel file and paste it again, it will overwrite your changes, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but once the information is in there, there's a registry of everything that you do using TitaniumGP, so there's always a logic to find out if it was entered and how it was entered. So there's a table that records all the information that's being done. So you are able to see what user entered the information.
Like an audit trail.
So it's a little bit more than that, because you have the capability to turn on something that there's 2 or 3 tools that I have not talked about for this demo, but it's something called TGP Remember. So you're able to go and identify who has modified what when. Just turn on, there's an item master, and I'm able to go and find out who modified this item, or you're able to go and identify who modified the sales order, who changed the sales rep. So you can turn on that TGP Remember. I don't think I turned it on. I'll check in a minute. And the other one is something that we call TGP execute. Just type the run. And here, this is also for GPM. You know how many times you have to call IT, can you please run the script that does whatever. This one also gives you the ability to create your SQL library and give it to users. As long as you're comfortable, you can provide those scripts, give it to a user, and says, this one can only be run by this person, and this person, right? So, for example, I think I have this one that is called TGP sales batches. Let me execute it. I'm running on a different company, but let me see if I can get another script. Oh, this one takes a long time. So take a look at this one. So this is telling me that this user is on the system. Let me go and open a document. So I'm open there. Go back to execute clear. I'm going to run the open docs, execute. And it's telling me that the SA user is on a sales order, this number, which is right here. So you're able to go and create a script, and you load it, and then you're able to give that to users. This is a harmless script that somebody, you know, when you're in and says, sorry, you cannot do that because somebody's on that.
Right.
So you can add that script, and instead of creating a program or a report, you just write the script, put it in, allow people to use it, and then you use TitaniumGP execute to load the scripts without having to get millions of reports. Because the ability of TitaniumGP, you can, well, you can drop down here and do a search and locate and classify them. You still can type here and say open, and you can go and search and say, okay, that's the script that I want to run, and then just go. If it is a script that has parameters, I'm able to go and those parameters, for those who are technical, it's a store procedure that has parameters on, and then automatically shows them in here, and you're able to enter, and it feeds that store procedure with the parameters that you provided. Let me see if I have another one. No. But so in this case, for example, I have a lot more parameters. I'm asking for certain information, and then it will execute. If the SQL Server provided several result sets, you're going to be able to see that information. And the beauty of this, if IT provides or your GP administration thinks that you should have those scripts and turn it on, and no more calling IT. So that's kind of cool. We have a script. What else do I have here? You type button. Why is called button? It's a long story. Where is it? The control desk. So here it is, the button. You click refresh. The button is in the control desk, and it tells you the users that are on the system, which document they're in, and you need to be a power user. You can kick them out. And if you have a stuck a bash that is stuck in some status, you can release them right here. So, so part of the functionality, probably I went too far with the question, with the answer.
But no, that's good. No, that's really good.
Right. How difficult is it to install?
No, like that's a very common issue. It's usually a script, and yeah, they really should, yeah.
That wasn't one of the scripts. That was a window.
That's a window. That button is a window.
You already know what the common issues are, so you.
Right, I've been there.
Yeah.
And probably you already saw my business plan. You said that you had to be every customer. Yeah. Very simple to install. It's one single file. You need two things. Download the file from the TitaniumGP.com website and get a registration key. If you want to try it, you can install it, and it works with the Fabricam company or TWO. Used to be called the World Online. You can play with there, and then once you're ready to activate, called Tridea, they'll give you the registration key for the product, put it in, and you're up and running. I have been I asked multiple times for an implementation process of the tool. Everybody believes that it's several hours or days to implement. It is actually, I normally recommend 3 hours of installation and training, but I have never taken 3 hours. It's faster than that. It all depends on if you're installing GP, then it's the training of copy paste. How difficult can that be, right? But if it is just a plain copy paste of what you're already up and running, it should be really fast. Yes, sir.
Do you have to install and connect on the each client?
No. That's a single file and you're up and running. Works from GP10 all the way to GP 2015 R2, and we can tell you that we try to be available before the release of any GP implementation. So as soon as we get into the preview of the product, we start developing, making sure that all the functionality is there. So we try to, when GP comes out, when GP 2016 comes out, we will have TitaniumGP ready on the website for you to download and start playing with it.
So if my client, I have a custom app, and I need to update it through eConnect, how do I reach those extra windows, those elastic windows data? Is that available through eConnect, or do I have to write a special code just to update those fields?
So in whatever answer I give you, you will still need to write the script, because if you try to do it through eConnect, you will still need to modify the eConnect pre and post procedures to that. Okay. I will say that normally you would have to write a script. Okay. You're going to do that. But let me show you something, because there's always something under the sleeve, right? So this is my customer. I'm going to turn on Elastic, and I want to modify all this. So I click this thing, and I have here form details. I want to just show what this is. So you go into form details, and you have the capability to see all the objects that are behind that window, whatever that means. So you want to see all the windows that make the customer maintenance, you have it there. You're able to go and see if this form has changed, the fields in that window, and you're able to go and locate all the information. In addition to the form details, you have something that is called the elastic data. So you're able to go and see all the data that GP has loaded into that window and all the tables that or windows that have uploaded. Probably not saved yet, but in addition to that, you have something called elastic data, which brings you a tool that shows you all the records in the elastic window as a grid. Mm-hmm. If you want to make changes there, you're welcome to do that. If you have the security to turn on that, but if the GP administrator enter that, you're able to go that. You can enter a change here, and then you just go and update, turn on or paste, and you're able to go and update that. I'm not this far. So if you are a power user, probably you don't want. If you are not a power user, but you are going to allow them access to the elastic window instead of going through line by line, you can go into that grid. And if you are a power user, then probably you have other options to do it. A lot of capability to do that. All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for making the time. It's a pleasure being always with my Tridea friends.